Hi and welcome to TMG Movie Reviews. I'm Rick.
I'm Andrew, and today we will be discussing 2014's Guardians of the Galaxy. I did not like Guardians of the Galaxy one bit. I did not enjoy it. I didn't find it funny. I didn't understand why Vin Diesel played Groot because he only has one thing to say. And I've not got a great deal to say about this film that's entirely positive. However, Rick here loved Guardians of the Galaxy, has seen it multiple times. Let's start with Rick. Let's see what Rick thinks.
Yeah, well, like Andrew said, I absolutely love this movie. I'm a fan of the Marvel Cinematic Universe anyway. I mean, I'd never heard of the Guardians of the Galaxy because I'm not a big Marvel comics fan, I'm more of a movie fan. I probably may not have gone and seen it if it didn't have the Marvel logo, like if it wasn't being produced by them, but I thought I'd give it a chance because they'd done such a good job on all the other films that they'd done. And it ended up being maybe my favourite Marvel movie because I just really liked it. It took such big risks in sort of the cast. It took obviously the lead, Chris Pratt from Parks and Recreation. Didn't really see him as a leading man. This is his first sort of live action lead role. His performance in this is sort of like a modern day Han Solo, in my opinion. It lends a lot from Star Wars, it lends a lot from sort of other Marvel movies, but it doesn't take itself too seriously. It's got a great soundtrack. I love all the 80s references. I love the heart of the story with Peter Quill's character and his mother at the beginning. One of the things that I was really sort of wary about going in to watch this movie was Rocket the Raccoon. For me, if this character didn't work, it would have just ruined the whole film. And it'd have been so easy to make him this child-friendly, sort of happy, like CGI raccoon, and that would have been awful. But they didn't. They gave him lots of character, lots of depth. He's this really sort of damaged character. He's been tortured. He'd been created, and you sort of see all that. You see him. He's sort of mad at the world for it, and I just think they did such a good job of sort of like making you engage and defining that character that it's sort of really a good testament of what they managed to do with this movie.
Well, first of all, I don't think there's such a thing as Marvel ever taking a risk. Marvel could film the phone book, and I think they could make it a smash because it's a Marvel film. Where I lost out on the film, I watched this last night for the first time, is in the opening sequence with young Peter Quill and his grandfather comes out, and it threw me out because all I was doing was thinking, I know that guy, I've seen him in Payback, and I saw him in Dress to Kill, and he's in Body Double, and what is his name? I figured out it was Greg Henry. But that threw me out. Then all it did was go through the whole thing about, yeah, I'm a wisecracking guy, yeah, I'm a bit crazy, I'm a bit dangerous, but I've got a great heart, and and I thought, right, I've seen this in Iron Man, and then we get the Rocket the Raccoon, who's, again, it's basically it's Tony Stark from Iron Man. I mean, to be honest, if you watch the honest trailer for this film, it's a brilliant honest trailer, you will basically get what I'm going to say in this review, which is basically a film that takes every Marvel archetype, every Marvel cliche, and just happens to give them a bit of a retro soundtrack, and it just didn't do anything for me. I'm not a big Marvel fan anyway, I'll be honest. I'm not someone who goes out and sees every Marvel film. I love Iron Man, and I love Iron Man 3, and this to me just seemed like a poor man's Iron Man 3.
Like I said, I've got to disagree with that at all, because Rocket Raccoon is the only sort of similarities I see between him and Tony Stark is the technical aspect. They're both tech geniuses, but apart from that, you've got Tony Stark's this like billionaire playboy philanthropist, and Rocket Raccoon's this like damaged, like he's been tested on, he's been created, he's really tortured, and I just don't see that in.
I could argue those points about Tony Stark. Tony Stark's a man who tried to take his chest apart to put something in. He's been kidnapped by war villains. He's lost people he loves. He's in this fractured relationship with Pepper Potts. It's basically the same type of character, and they throw in the odd, and then you've got in Peter Quill, you've got Stark's womanizing, his wisecracking. So it seemed to me like they had watched Iron Man 3 and gone, right, let's do that. And James Gunn, who I think is a great director, I loved. Have you seen Super?
No.
It was James Gunn's previous film before this, and it's basically an adult version of Kick-Ass, in which Rainn Wilson from The Office dresses up as a superhero, gets a monkey wrench, and goes around beating people up with a monkey wrench. And to me, that was a much better, much more subversive. It was, if Guardians of the Galaxy had been any near as good as Super, I would have been a very happy man. Why did Vin Diesel want to play Groot? I could have gone in there and done that. I understand with Rocket that, for Bradley Cooper, obviously there was something to sell it to him, but Diesel, did he need the money? Was that it? Or was it just the fact that he wanted to do a Marvel movie because, you know, the residuals will be very good in the future?
See, I really liked Vin Diesel as playing Groot because he's got 3 words in the whole film, and well, they do change at the end, but basically he says these same 3 words, "I am Groot," throughout the whole film. You'd expect to sort of go into the recording booth where he's recording the voiceover and it just be "I am Groot." But what it did was, the thing that's sort of interesting was they had like a paragraph on the right hand side, he said it was like a big sort of script, and it said all the emotion that he had to sort of convey with just the words "I am Groot." And I mean, like, to say it's not a risk, I mean, you could easily watch a Marvel movie and it'd be a flop. I mean, look at the first Hulk. No one likes that movie. I'm sure Eric Bana doesn't like that movie, and he's in it. I just think it was a more light-hearted film than what we've seen from the Marvel Cinematic Universe so far, and it just it took risks, I think, just with the casting. I mean, Bautista, a former wrestler, having a CGI animated character being one of the lead roles was a bit of a risk, I think. Casting Chris Pratt as the lead when he hadn't really sort of done much as lead, he was sort of the funny guy from Parks and Recreation. I just think it just all ended up working out really well, and like I said, I'm not going to try and convince you because I know you don't like it, but yeah, I love the movie. For me, I'd give it a 4.5 easily. It's probably my favourite Marvel movie.
2 stars from me. I think in the Marvel universe, and I have seen Thor, I've seen the Iron Mans, but not being a big fan, I would always go for Iron Man 3, and I think that's more for the fact that it was written and directed by Shane Black, who wrote Lethal Weapon, wrote one of my favourite films, Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. But no, this one didn't work for me, and I'm probably one in a very small amount of people who didn't like it, but really, go back and see Super. Super's got Rainn Wilson, Ellen Page, a monkey wrench, and a very, very funny sex scene between 2 superheroes who are not actual superheroes, but that's a far superior film, and I will always fly the flag for Super over Guardians. But you never know, if there's a Guardians of the Galaxy 2, and I'm sure there will be, I might give it a go, maybe.
Oh yeah, there is. Definitely.
Oh, there's one coming. Naturally.
There's definitely going to be a Guardians of the Galaxy 2, because one of the things that the movie does actually do is sort of, it incorporates the main villain that's going to be in the Avengers Infinity Wars, which obviously comes out after Age of Ultron. So Guardians of the Galaxy 2 will definitely happen, and also you'll probably eventually see them come to Earth and maybe help the Avengers in one of the future movies, so they're definitely going to be around. Yeah, so I mean, like, we've got a completely different sort of viewpoint of the film, which is great. So we'd love to hear what you think of the film, whether you love it or hate it. Let us know in the comments why. Yeah, please do. There's comments here, there's comments on Facebook. I do an IMDb link to our review. So yeah, if you like it, tell us. You know, if you don't and you agree with me, that'd be good to hear. Thanks for watching.